Why Saudi Arabia buys sand from other countries? Saudi Arabia is almost entirely desert. Basically, the country consists of sand. Yet, the wealthy kingdom imports sand from abroad. Saudi sand comes from Australia, India, and South America. In fact, the neighboring UAE does the same. What's the deal here? Couldn't they just use their own sand? The short answer is no, they can't. Desert sand is much different from maritime sand. It's been eroded by thousands of years of wind. As a result, desert sand is very smooth and fine, but the sand found near water is much coarser. It's been eroded by water rather than wind, and that's what makes maritime sand so valuable. This type of coarse sand is used in the production of concrete, and concrete, of course, is used for construction. Global demand for sand has skyrocketed in recent years. After water, it is the most abundantly used natural resource. Millions of tons of sand are mined every year. In countries like Jamaica and Colombia, it's a booming industry. Sand quarries have to be protected by armed guards. Of course, China is the largest buyer of sand. Its construction boom has been progressing at a breakneck pace. China even uses sand to build islands in the South China Sea. It's a way to exert its influence over the region. Dubai also builds artificial islands, but for more touristy reasons. They are promoted as prime real estate for millionaires. In the US, the rise of fracking has also boosted demand. The production of sand for fracking wells grew by a factor of 20 in 10 years. But wait, doesn't Saudi Arabia have a coastline? Oh yes, almost 1,700 miles of it. So why do they still need to import maritime sand? That's because Saudi maritime sand has been used up. The reason is the same: massive construction projects. In fact, the world is considered to be in a sand shortage right now. Sand now accounts for 85% of the total weight of mined material. The world is consuming millions of tons of sand a day. It's used in everything: swimming pool filters, metal castings, oil wells, phone screens, even toothpaste. Yet the process of making it takes thousands of years. So we may be on the verge of a sand deficit. By the way, Saudi Arabia also imports camels. Sounds even crazier, doesn't it? You see, camels are a large part of the diet in Saudi Arabia. Camel meat is traditionally highly priced. Pork is forbidden to Muslims, and there are no pastures to raise cattle. The camel have been the only available source for meat for centuries. Sure enough, now there's a shortage of camels. Saudi camels are mostly used for carrying people. They are also used in camel races, but they are no longer considered good enough to it. Now all camel meat in Saudi Arabia comes from Australia. Australian camels are much fatter. And in case you were wondering, no camels are native to Australia. Around 20,000 camels were brought from India between 1840 to 1900 by Britishers. Of course, now they have been multiplied and become an invasive species. Yes, there are wild camels in Australia, just like rabbits, dingoes, foxes, gods, pigs, donkeys, buffalo, and ostriches. These feral animals are wreaking havoc in the island ecosystem. In 2020, Australia killed up to 10,000 camels searching for water, and mining is similarly threatening ecosystems elsewhere. Will humanity ever learn?